Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of the Creatures of the Night in podcast form, that is. I'm your host, Narciso, and today my co-host is the one and only David Gonzalez. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. You'll be on plenty, don't worry. So, we are obviously going to talk about Prey. That's going to be the main topic today. But besides that, have you seen anything horror-related lately? TV shows, any movies?
Not really horror related. No, man. I've been in a void.
You've been in
So
the
have you
void,
seen
but I heard you
anything?
went... I saw the
I
that
missed out on
Jamie.
Stranger Things, so not yet. So
Well, yeah, I guess that counts. It's a
yeah.
little delayed, but I just saw that Day Shift Jamie Foxx movie with Snoop Dogg. I
Oh,
don't know if you've seen
yes.
that one.
Yeah,
It
it's a
was
streaming movie,
surprisingly
right? It's
good, man.
Netflix or something. Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it on a plane going to Vegas, and I had it there as a. It was just on my list of things to see. Then it's didn't expect much, and was very, very, very surprised. It was like Dawn of the Dead mixed in with Blade, the original Blade. It's
Okay.
serious, but not so serious like Dawn of the Dead. And it's one half entirely different movie, second half and totally different movie, just like Dawn of the Dead. That's why I throw Dawn of the Dead in.
Like
I mean, not Dawn of the Dead.
from dusk till
Dust Till
dawn?
Dawn. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Dust Till Dawn. It's like two different
Oh,
movies, and then
okay.
you're like, I already knew where it was going, so it didn't throw me that for a loop. But even as it happens, I'm like, this is pretty cool. It changes vibe, and since it's in California, it has that deserty yellowish tint, and it kind of gives you that Dust Till Dawn desert
John
vibe, you
Carpenter,
know?
vampires kind of vibe.
Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
other movie that I would compare it to. John Carpenter's
So it's
Vampire.
vampires, obviously.
He is a pool man by day, and it's a cover. He's really a vampire hunter. So what he does is he
Oh,
cleans all these houses. I mean, he like cleans their pools, but he's really cleaning vampire pools. Like they're asleep in the house by the daytime. So he parks his truck and he acts like he's a pool cleaner for any neighbors not to notice or whatever. But then he breaks into the houses and he starts hunting through the houses for them
okay,
and
that's
starts
cool.
slaughtering them. And dude, the choreography for the fight scenes, fantastic. Like it's like they fight like there's three types of vampires. There's like I don't know the three types. I don't remember the names, but they're all like one's like an arachnid, so like they do that whole backwards bending gymnastics. They're crawling on walls and stuff, and they live in nests like a hive. Then you have like the high tier ones, which are like the mafia, sort of like in Blade. You know, they have a
Okay.
council and they're taking over all the realty in the area because they're building all these gated communities that are really vampire hubs. All the vampires are living in these communities like nesting grounds. And there's like an underground vampire hunting. Um, you know how like John Wick belongs to that club.
Yeah.
It's just like that. And Snoop Dogg is a member. He's like a cowboy, and there's like all these characters, and they all gang up to start like taking down this cartel. It's really cool. You got to check it out. It's really awesome.
Is it better than that Will Smith Netflix movie that was like them fighting like monsters? Remember that?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, Bright or Blight or whatever.
Right,
No, yeah, I
right.
never, I
I saw
never liked
that.
that. That one was kind of like Training Day meets
I think it was
fantasy.
the same writer, director.
Oh,
Yeah.
it probably was. No, yeah, this is much better. This is
Is
like
it
that movie
Amazon?
was
Is it an Amazon movie or
no
Netflix?
Netflix.
Oh,
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was Netflix.
They're still
And
making
I
good
think
ones.
the Will Smith one was Netflix also, if I'm
Yes,
not
that was their
mistaken.
first, I think, official movie.
Big movie, big budget movie with a star attached. Yeah, and then it was supposed to spin off into others, and I don't know if it didn't do well enough. Anyways, and now with Will Smith, that definitely is not going to happen. So
It's not gonna happen. Yeah, he has to wait it out at least a year.
at least I don't know, man. It might be longer than that, dude. That guy is.
Yeah, I know, but the funny part is that all he did was slap somebody. You know, be like there's people that did
Oh
like
yeah, but in the biggest
worse.
stage in the world, you know, it was like
Oh, I know that was a bad decision
very bad decision.
in the middle of the Oscars.
I think
Anyway,
his wife was a bad decision.
I never thought we'd be talking about Will Smith, but
Hey, man, we're gonna go all over the place, you know. So, but sticking to the Halloween theme, you did say you went to Spirit Halloween the other day, right?
yeah, yeah. My wife did, but I go there all the time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Dipping your toes in it. I don't know if you've seen some of the crazy animatronics they have there lately. I
I know they
went
have some good
last
ones.
week and I was like, oh my god, man, these animatronics are getting to like Disney Imagineer caliber, like 300-400 bucks. Did you see that giant monkey with the symbols with the
I don't
light
know
up?
if I saw that one, but they have all these crazy things when you step up to them, they activate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, it's awesome. But anyways, so we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna go right into Prey. What did you think before we start even getting into it? Overall, like your first initial thought.
Well, honestly, I was pleasantly surprised
Okay.
because
It
um
didn't like the media didn't overhype it for you because everybody was
no,
on the nutsack there.
no. I lost faith in the Predator franchise a long time ago. Pretty sure you did too, in
Oh yeah.
somewhat. So I heard the idea. I was like, that sounds like a good idea. It reminded me of the gun, even before anybody knew anything. You know, the
Oh,
the
okay. Okay.
the Predator 2 gun.
So
And
you
then I
hadn't
saw,
heard about any of these little bits of information beforehand. It was all like new to you when you saw it.
yeah, I mean, I knew it was set in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And then the minute it was a Hulu movie, that worried me. But I saw the trailer and it looked fine. The trailer looked okay.
Yeah.
I said it could be good. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we gave it a shot. But yeah, it was really good. I mean, it was surprisingly good for a movie on Hulu, especially.
Okay, so I think we both are on the same boat with that because I was getting word of the hype train constantly. Like everybody was like, "Oh my god, Prey! Oh my god, why didn't they
Yeah, there
release
was
it?"
everybody was saying it was really good.
Right, and then a lot of people were also bashing it because I'm like, of course, it's like the woke crowd, and it's a little girl
Yeah.
taking on predators, and she can do everything perfect. And I was already like, but I'm gonna watch it because it was on Hulu. I was like, you know what? Do I gotta waste time? I'm gonna just sit here. I think I saw it on a Saturday night, and I was pleasantly surprised. As a matter of fact, I got with you really quick after that, and I was like, hey, watch it, because maybe we'll do the first podcast on it.
No, yeah.
Uh, I thought the cinematography and the scope was definitely theatrical wise. I don't know why they kept it to Hulu streaming service because it was shot beautifully. It looked like a legit
No, yeah.
widescreen movie, you
There
know?
were shots in the beginning when they had all those like long shots following her through the tribe, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of reminded me of M. Night Shyamalan movie, like a The Village or something. It was very like Revenant looking.
It was very relevant.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, I think it's also the whole like foresty thing, but the
yeah,
color palette, the way it was shot, it had kind of had like that sunset glow and
yeah.
stuff.
Look, it looked good.
It had a lot more of an original Predator vibe because one's in the jungle, this is a forest, and it's a smaller scale idea because as soon as Predator 2 hit, they went nuts. It was big city, and ever since then, it was like, how can we outdo this? How can this was like, let's just keep it back to the original
Yeah,
idea of just being a handful of people in a vast void of like a jungle or a forest, and you just got to survive that shit, you know. And I think it works. Now everybody's saying that this is what they got to do. Now they have the formula, so like maybe it should be uh, a time thing. So every Predator movie is
yeah.
going to be a
Another
different time
Predator
period.
somewhere in the fighting pirates or something. Yeah,
Predator versus Samurai, Predator and Pirates, and it's like you can't make it that gimmicky so that every movie now is going to be like what time period is going to be like Back to the Future Predator style. You know, I just think the key to Predator has always been the same thing. It's called Predator. You have to make it so that it's always a handful of people feeling like they're hunted
yeah.
and just they don't even know what the hell they're doing, and they're surviving and learning as they go as they keep getting eliminated. You know, it's almost like a game show. That might be another good idea, like Running Man,
Oh
Predator
yeah,
style.
had the Predator come in. Yeah.
Actually, I had a cool idea for a Predator movie, but it's for here or there. What if we went to the Predator planet and they were like us? They were just like living boring ass lives, and they're
Yeah,
weekend
that they walk
warriors.
going to work and everything. Yeah, they
And
they showed in one of the horrible Alien versus Predator 2 Requiem. They showed the Predator planet in a couple shots
I
in
I
the very
vaguely remember.
beginning. Yeah, I saw that movie like once or something,
How
maybe
did it look? I
twice.
don't remember. Was it like a like pyramids and stuff or
No, it
something?
was all
I don't remember.
blocky. It looked like buildings now. It was all blocky, and it was like sunset, and it just had the Predator like get. I don't know. They showed it like in two shots, and it didn't look like anything we would think of.
I should look it up just to see
Yeah,
what
yeah, I'm sure you can find it on
Predator
YouTube.
movie
The
looked like.
still, it's a still of like they're just skyscrapers, but it almost looks like a beehive kind of thing.
Hmm, okay. Because I know from the last the There's so many stupid Predator movies.
But
Not
the
the
last one,
Predators, not the last one, the one before that with Adrian Brody.
yes, yes, the last one
That
that
one,
was actually
that
good.
was decent.
Yeah.
That planet was not theirs, right? They were just
No,
dropped off in a
yeah,
hunting planet.
yeah. I think they insinuate that that's like where they dump the people to do the fight,
Right. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So it was
even
like
though it
they.
looked just like the first movie. You know,
Right. So it was like what do you
a
call that?
game, a game preserve.
Like a preserve, like an
Not like
animal
that,
preserve.
Adrian Brody, your boy Adrian Brody, he says that it's like they ruined the whole movie in the trailer. If you remember,
Yeah, they gave
in
the
the
whole
trailer
plot.
they said that it was the planet,
Right. Right.
the Robert
That one was
Rodriguez.
actually it had cool ideas.
Yes,
Wasn't that the Rodriguez one?
the one he produced.
That
Yeah,
was yeah. Okay.
no, it's actually really good.
That one was onto something. They were like they went back to the jungle idea, but they were like, what if they just dropping them off in like a preserve and they're just like letting them survive in the wilderness there on their own? And I think they were the first ones that came up with that whole there's different tiers of predator species.
I think so too, at least in the movies.
I know the last one, which honestly I did not see. I heard it was horrible. It
Oh, you
looked
never
terrible.
saw The Predator?
I never saw it, even though
Oh,
it's a disappointment because it was Shane Black who directed it, and I
yeah.
don't know what the hell happened there.
It was Shane
Was a
Black who directed
studio?
it, and the writer was our boy Fred Decker.
Yes, I know. I'm like, how
Back
could
then, we
they
were
not?
all excited when, yeah.
That's why I'm like, I wonder if it was studio shenanigans like usual that fucked
It
everything up.
supposedly is. He said many times, like the third act of the movie, they refilmed it, they erased what they said. But who knows if it's true? But I've seen The Predator. I saw it when I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it when it came out on video,
Yeah.
and it was. I mean, I think if I watch it now, I might like it more. But it was like it wasn't good, and it's hard to explain because it felt like a crappy version of Scream with Predator, where like they're
Isn't there a
making
scene at
fun
the
of the
end?
movie.
Aren't they in a big scene, fight scene at the end where they're like in front of a school or something? There's like a bus.
No, that's not the end. That's like in the middle.
I saw that part and I was like, this reminded me of the faculty for some reason. I was like, what the hell is this? And there's like a gigantic predator, a super predator,
Yes,
right? I'm like,
that's the scene where there's the predator that we know, and then there's the monster predator is all CG
yeah, dude,
and he's
that's when they
huge,
lost
and
me. I saw
but
one clip. I don't even know where I saw it, but I was somewhere and they were playing it, and I was like, oh, let me check. And I was like,
yeah,
oh my god, this is
it
freaking.
has a good idea. It starts like the kind of like a Dirty Dozen, one of those like Con Air, Michael Bay movies where all these characters have
Yeah, a bunch
to
of Expendables.
exactly. There's a part
Yeah.
where the main character is the guy from RoboCop, the shitty RoboCop remake, the guy from Narcos. Oh no, I'm confusing him with the Narcos guy, whatever. Yeah, they're on some sort of CIA mission, and then a spaceship crashes. They encounter a predator. He finds his mask, and then they do something that they I guess went away from. The predator has like these little balls, like Starman, and the
Okay.
balls do the invisible thing.
The cloaking.
Yeah, so the main character in one scene, he's trying to pawn these things in Mexico or something, and the guy doesn't want to give him money, and he scares him by turning invisible and makes him give him money. And they
Okay.
pull that away. You can turn invisible with like a little thing that you
Yeah.
hold.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I never saw it. I saw bits and pieces, but the last I saw was the Adrian Brody one.
Yeah.
This one got me from the beginning. I was like, I loved it. I love the theme. I the whole Comanche thing. I didn't see it with the Comanche language subtitle.
Actually saw I saw it twice. I saw both
Both
versions.
versions. I
Yeah.
saw the regular English. I didn't see the Comanche dub, but I heard it was pretty good. But I heard that it's off-putting because they really aren't speaking it. It was dubbed, so
It's
it doesn't
dubbed.
think
Yeah.
properly. It would drive me nuts. So I'm like, ah,
You have to be reading. No, it's not even dubbed. I mean, it is dubbed, but it comes with the subtitles put on. You can't turn them off. So you have to see like the subtitles in English with them talking. Yeah.
right, right. Okay, I got you.
I mean, I guess like I guess the suspension of disbelief part in that stupid little thing where people say, "Oh, they don't speak it. That's what wolves." That's the only thing it kind of like does, where they're speaking Native American, and then it's not like the English stuff doesn't throw you out.
Okay, okay.
That's really the only advantage.
Well, I dug that it's almost like a Spanglish. Like they were just talking half Comanche, and then they'll go into English and back and forth, and it worked for me. It didn't feel forced. It felt more natural, which leads me to a point that I wrote down here, which is it reminded me um,
I know
of
you're gonna.
Warrior
Yes, and Hunt for October.
and Hunt for Red October, where they do the
They did
whole
the same thing.
you
Yes.
go from one language to the other, and it does it in a way where you like I'm fine with that. I can't, we're not gonna go through her studying languages or us. It just blends well. Like I don't mind it. It went from
Yeah.
Comanche to English, and it was fine. It was like, but I thought that was like pretty cool. The thing that throws me off though, okay, this is a prequel to the OG one technically.
Yes.
The Predator in this movie is not like the Predator of Predator. He's
No.
different. He's smaller or is he bigger? I heard that he was smaller, but I could be wrong in that.
No, I think
His
he's smaller. He has like a Bruce Lee body where he's like skinny, but he's all like ripped.
yeah, this one they're saying he's like a feral predator and
Okay.
stuff. But I'm like, I heard in another podcast an argument, and it made sense where it's kind of like they don't understand because it's what how many years? It's been a long
Three
time.
hundred. It's supposed to be about 300 years before the first one.
Right, but the
It's
tech in this guy,
1719 or something.
the tech in this one is like a lot of things don't make sense. Like his mask is like a skull, but does it have tech incorporated into the bones? Right?
I think so. I think it's skull outside. I read somewhere, heard somewhere something that there's supposed to be electronics inside. Maybe there's a shot where you can see it, or they just didn't even think about it. So I'm assuming it's still like a mask. It just looks like bone.
Yeah, but even his like gauntlet looked like bone. He's like hitting buttons, but it looked like ivory. You know what I
But
mean? It was like
the shots where he would do the shield and everything kind of
yeah,
reminded me of Stargate. Remember Stargate?
yeah, of
When
course.
they go, so it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, it's made up, but I think it works that way. It's like it's high tech, but it's still like old school looking. It almost looks like Iron Man stuff coming up.
But their argument, I forget the podcast I heard it on, but it's something that I agreed with, where it's like, why don't they just fucking stick with the look of a fucking predator? Every director does the same shit. Oh, we want to do our own style.
Yeah,
But
that
it
that's
throws
gotta
you
be
off.
it. That's
Dude,
gotta
every
be it.
predator movie, they look different. And I'm like, yeah, they have somewhat of the same structures and shit, but their faces are different and they're totally like different sizes and different. One is like a monstrosity of a house, it's like you guys don't explain it and everybody does their own thing. It's sort of hard to keep the mythos and to have it like interconnect because you don't explain anything.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's. I think every director wants to do. I mean, even Predator 2, which was just like 3 years later, 1990.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like the Jason thing. You watch all the old Jason movies, it's
Yeah,
always a different guy, usually a different guy, except for a couple with Kane Hodder.
yes.
Jason looks different. He's big, he's smaller, he's got a this, he's got a that, you
Yeah, I
know.
think Jason literally just gets more roided up as the movies go on until
Yeah.
he got to space, and that was just like, what's the biggest wrestler we can
No,
get?
yeah. When they got to the Kane Hodder phase, like 7, 8, 9,
Yeah, yeah,
Jason, he's big, he's famous for breathing.
yeah.
Like, Jason shouldn't be breathing. He's a zombie at
He's a
that point,
zombie.
you know. I think that's what it is. I think they just all want to one up it. And then the truth is, I mean, the director of this movie said in an interview somewhere that they never got the movement right after part one. And I think part two, the same guy did part two, the actor,
Wait,
Kevin
but you're
Peter
talking about
Hall.
Predator or you're talking about Jason?
No, Predator.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
said they never got the movement right. I wanted to bring back the movement. And that's true. You could tell that they have him like jumping through trees. He's more physical.
I told you they should have just brought back Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Yeah.
had him give up halfway through it like he did in the first one, and somehow it would have worked out. But I don't know. I think they
I
did a
think
good
they need
job.
to
There's
add
just
like another like $5 million to the budget for the cocaine. For John Goodman to come in and give him the cocaine.
I don't know. Van Damme isn't too busy. He might have taken the gig now. So, but I thought they captured it pretty well. Like his movements, jumping from the trees was awesome. That was great. I think the whole freaking that buzzsaw thing that he had, where he's cutting the tree and
Yes.
decapitating. I thought that was freaking amazing because it was more hands on. You know, that's another thing. He obviously is somewhat less techy. He doesn't have his shoulder cannon.
No, he has
His,
an arrow thing.
his lasers use arrows instead of the like laser blasts.
And they're laser guided. It's almost like the mask controls it, not him.
And he also has like drones, those little drones and stuff.
Yes. And what happened there? That it looked like a puff. Was that gas or was that an explosion? Because they built it up and then it was like,
No, no, I think it was
was it a bomb?
yeah, it was like a bomb.
But
I
it
think
wasn't
they
like,
were like
yeah,
little
because when they
detonators.
showed them
Like
again, they were kind of together.
no, yeah, I think they were
I
like
thought
three
it was like gas or something. Oh,
like
okay.
three little exploding suicide bombs. I guess they could
Sorry,
just
it was a, yeah. But you know what they did in this movie that I think it might have been the second time I watched it that I caught on. Like part one, there's a lot of scenes with him in camouflage, which I think they nailed in this movie. There's a lot of scenes in the beginning of him in camouflage, and he's animated, and they made it look almost like water. You know what I'm talking about?
yes,
You
yeah,
can see the ripples, and then it will go in and out of phases. When someone hit it, it would like,
yeah, because it's breaking like the reflections.
yeah. And
That's
then it
what I like.
starts with him like hunting like a snake,
Right.
and
I
then
thought
hunting,
that was great because
yeah, and then
he doesn't know the hierarchy of who's the top of the food chain.
and
So
he's
it starts
watching, and he always kills the predator.
right.
Yeah.
It
And then
starts with the
I think
ant.
it goes to like the rabbit with the wolf, and it
It
looks like a
starts with
nature
an ant.
video.
It starts with a little ant, super close
Oh
CGI ant
yeah,
going up his leg, and then what is it? A snake?
the snake he rips in half, and then
And
I think it goes into I
I don't
think
know if it's a snake, and then a rabbit, and then there's the wolf. I don't, it's like
the
a
rabbit was chasing the wolf, and then that was a good scene.
it was cool.
He,
Yeah, I liked
the
it.
predator kind of like crawls toward him. You saw that,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah,
then they cut to a wide shot, and you can't even see the predator, and that looks good.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then they do the thing where they slash, and they don't understand a little bit. You know,
As
the
he's
wolf just
killing,
explodes. Yeah.
as he's killing on his like visuals, it's almost like he has a hierarchy of whatever the top predator that he knows of on his like database is,
Yeah, like a video game.
and it keeps moving whatever's new up. Bloop, 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 bloop. The bear scene was brutal. I thought that was
Yes.
fantastic. A lot of
Yes.
people complain about the CGI. I'm like, it didn't bother me. It looked good.
It went a lot long. Yeah, there's a lot of CG animals, and yeah, sometimes you can
It's
tell.
not the Revenant, but the
Yeah,
Revenant.
you can tell. When they run, you can tell that they're not real. But like, you're not gonna film a fucking snake at close up nowadays.
Dude, they're not gonna make a giant animatronic bear that's gonna be butchered. You know,
But
come
that was good because it was more than what we saw in the trailer. The part where he just punches the bear, blah,
on.
and then I think he rips it in half in the blood.
That was
It
awesome.
reminded me of Hollow Man when he's full of blood.
Yes, yes. Except
Yeah,
his pecker didn't like get covered in blood and showed up like a Kevin Bacon snake.
and then throughout all that beginning part, they have the story with the girl wanting to do more. You can tell she's different. Everyone wakes up and starts like getting food, and she wants to
What did you
hunt.
think about Amber Mid Thunder, the lead there?
I thought she was fine. When she in the Native American one, I think she's more believable
Okay.
in the movie, but she does okay. She kind of reminds me. I'm sure you heard this before. She looks like that actress
I
Aubrey
was gonna say something, but which one?
Aubrey Plaza. They keep saying that she looks like
No,
her.
no, no, I was not gonna go that way.
Oh,
No,
what are you
I
gonna
mean I could
say?
see it. I could see it. I forget her name, but I who I kept thinking about was the girl from Battle Angel Alita,
Not the main one.
the main girl. Yeah, yeah, but she
Oh,
in real life, not the CG.
oh yeah. I guess I have to see her in real life.
I thought it was her for a minute, but I'm like, wait, she's Latin, she's not Native
Yeah.
American,
So she
but she
did
looks a
okay.
lot like
I mean, honestly, like when it comes to the people bashing it with that, I can see that nowadays, as they, of course, they're doing that. But it kind of I mean, it's almost like they made the first Predator movie, but they made it from the point of view of that girl, the one
yeah,
that's like the
the
slave. Remember, she
prisoner
knew
one.
stuff.
Right, right.
He was a demon. So it's like from like the point of view of someone else that you won't think about.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, you knew where it was gonna go. It could
Yeah,
have been anything, but it makes sense for it to be a girl. And also she gets away with a lot. Because there's a lot of scenes where the predator lets her go.
right.
And it's
But he's
like,
not.
obviously
He doesn't
convenience
take her
and stuff, but
seriously. See, that's where a lot of the woke stuff comes in because everybody's like, of course, it's the whole ploy of you can't do this, you're not a man, and nobody takes you seriously. So she proves everybody wrong, and she's the best at everything. And I can see it. It
Well,
does happen because I mean,
maybe the predator just respects women. You never know. He's like, no, 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 I never killed a girl before. No women, no kids.
I liked a lot her brother. Like I think his name is
Yes,
Oda Beavers. I thought her brother killed. You know, that's his first acting gig.
yes, I heard that too.
He fucking
And
killed it, bro.
that
He did great.
scene when he's fighting the predator was really good.
Really good.
And you almost believe that he could kick his ass. He just, just didn't do it in time.
Something about him, he's like so stoic.
He reminds me of kind of like Orlando Bloom in a weird way, like a native Orlando Bloom.
I can
But he
kind of
was
see
so
that.
stoic, but he was really good.
He
He
was like,
worked like at a Dairy Queen, I heard.
who? Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it was
That's
one of those things like the kid from Terminator 2, where the casting director was like, "Oh, I like the way you look. You want to be in a movie," and he went from working at like a fast food restaurant into a movie.
and your life has changed forever. Nah, that's crazy. No, but that was like one of my main takes. I'm like, yeah, I let it slide. I get it. She's gonna be the star, and she does take beatings a little bit here and
Yeah,
there.
yeah. They didn't whatever do the Star Wars Daisy Ridley Mary Sue right away. She gets
Right, right.
she even gets bumped back with the lion scene.
Yes,
And so
yes.
she's like
And then
really like
the
you're like,
brother's like,
oh,
I
this
really
girl
couldn't
wants
have been.
she sucks, but she wants to do something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's like, I'm not gonna be here.
You tell it to her face, you're not good enough. The
I'm not
mom,
gonna do that.
the brother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then
So
there's a scene where he admits, like, oh, I beat the lion because you already had
yes,
fucking wounded
your
it.
plan. Oh, that scene was good, and the callback to the end of the movie, which was done well, where everyone's honoring him, and she's like jealous.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
His final fight with the predator, with the horse, the way he comes in and shit, that was some gangster shit. I love that. I was like, that was awesome. He's on the horse, like spearing him. He doesn't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah, he did good. And then the scene right before that, where like the posse fights the predator,
Yeah.
they all get killed. That was pretty good scene too. He just messes them up
Well, yeah.
different
That
ways.
was a quick. That was like the essential predator scene where
That was yeah, because you see him for the first time going, "Rawr."
right, right. They all try to get one lick in, and they all get
And
brutally
he kind of
murdered.
looks like a dinosaur. He's all like primal looking.
You know what pisses me off?
They don't go back to the same face.
No, no, that we already spoke about that. That bothers the shit on me. But whatever, it is what it is. But if you watch behind the scenes, the whole Predator outfit was amazing. The animatronics, dude, awesome. And they went and they fucking CGI'd his face after. Why? It
I know
looked so good.
they go after and they CGI it all the time.
CGI enhancements, bullshit. You just totally masked over his mask. And I'm like, those guys that did those animatronics, I didn't look it up. I'm not sure if it was like K&B or whatever, but
I'm
they
pretty sure they were good guys.
the work they put into it to then have a cheap
It
CGI.
could even be the original people. I forgot their name of the people that they did it. Andrew something. He did the Alien movies too. Well, Stan Winston did it originally. I doubt they did Stan Winston, but I don't know. I know it sucks when they do that.
I'm like, I didn't even know until a couple of weeks ago. I actually saw a behind the scenes snippet of him, and I'm like, bro, the guy's full body outfit.
But not every scene, right? There's a couple scenes like when he's fighting in the burnt forest with the like the skin trappers. It
Yeah.
looked like a guy in a suit in those slow motion shots.
No, 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 no. It's a guy in the suit the whole movie.
The face is
They
fake.
CGI'd the face.
Yeah.
But I was watching behind the scenes. They had close-ups of the full scenes in action from a third camera point of view. It looked the same but better, and I'm like, why do you... Something about CGI, when you have a trained eye, you could always see it. It's a sheen or looked at, it's just fucking CGI. When it's man in suit done well, to me, it ages the best.
Yeah.
It looks the best. It's using natural lighting better than you can replicate in a program. Why do they have to? Because they feel like, oh, they have to add more expression. It's like, dude, that mask was amazing. They killed it. That pisses me off. I mean, I wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have seen it. But now that I see it, it pisses me off.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the footage with it as the mask. I mean, it doesn't look like anything that they need CGI for. But you know how it is. They always fuck it up.
It's a Predator movie. It's always a man in suit. Like the explosions, you can CGI. The weapons, you can CGI enhance or whatever. But I don't know. I guess that nowadays, man, they have to go ahead and CGI everything. They're not happy unless it's like a legit director with pull that insists, like a Cameron, that's like, no, it's gonna be this way or nothing, and they just have
Yeah.
to eat it. But every time these studios, man, they have to have like their 2 cents in there, and it's never for the better.
Well, at least they got like the suit right, because if you remember, and I think for sure people were talking about it, Alien versus Predator. They got like these big husky guys in the suits. If you have you seen AVP anytime soon?
Yeah, I had seen them both. I saw
But
AVP
they're
the first
so
one.
like clunky, and everything looks like you could tell like they got guys that were too big already. And they put them in the suit, and they just look like football players.
But you also got to remember that's like early 2000s. Everything had to be bigger and better and
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
extreme. And
So at least they
I
lead
think,
him out because he in this movie, like you see, like he has a lot exposed, and he's like
oh yeah, yeah, he has no
brown.
gear really.
He's like
And
brown. Yeah.
one of the things I liked about this movie is that the first half, when he's fighting mainly territorial animals, working his way up the chain before he finds the humans, it's that he doesn't feel like he needs any tech. Everything is barehanded fighting. He's not using anything until he starts to get to
The
humans. And
humans. Yeah, it's true.
I mean, he uses the blades, like he cuts the wolf's head off and shit, but that's as much as he did. He didn't use weaponry until he started getting to the humans, which by the way, the French people were like the biggest cannon fodder in this movie. It was hilarious. It was like, let's bring in the French boys. We need blood.
And then you notice that like in the first couple of scenes that there's no subtitles for the French on purpose.
Yeah, because it's like nobody gives a fuck what the
Yeah,
hell.
I guess it's supposed to make you. That was a cool little move where they normally would say things.
You're not supposed to be attached to any of them anyway, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what they're saying.
But I mean, those scenes were great too. The big
Oh,
husky
no, they're
guy.
great.
He reminded me of the guy who played Christopher Columbus in 1492, Gerard Depardieu. He's like blah, 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 blah. You just want them all to be killed.
Stereotypical fat, angry Frenchman
Yes.
with furs. The one thing that, from what I understand, and it doesn't. That's why I was like, I don't know. I never read the comics. I heard the comics became like a backstory and all this shit about the handgun. And there's like a whole graphic novel line that was canon, I think, where that actually came from a pirate. And they say that there's a whole story with the pirate, and he was a badass of why that gun is. But they made him a French like fur trader here. They totally changed that up. So
No, yeah, yeah. I think the comic book stuff with the gun happened after the movie. They just ran with that.
what
And
is Raphael Adolini?
yeah, I remember in the part two they gave him the gun. And he sees
Right,
it. Yeah.
right. But
And I
what I
think
don't like,
that
I'm
was
sorry.
right when the comics were coming out, and I think they ran with that. And I don't know why they changed it, because they talked about it in some other YouTube videos. She has the gun and she gives it to the Indian people, so they must have come back and gotten it again to have it
Well,
again.
we'll touch up on that because technically there's a credit cookie at the end of this
Yes,
movie.
I know you're talking about. So I guess
We're gonna get there now. But my whole thing with the gun is it's sort of built up as this iconic thing that
yeah.
after Danny Glover kills off the Predator and all the other badasses show up, they come and they reward him with this. You would think this is like this big deal. This is from a badass. This guy was not
Yeah,
a badass.
like
He's
they killed one
nobody.
of these conquistadors and took his gun, and yeah, that's what I assumed too.
This guy, it was like, okay, he's just a crying little bitch who gets killed, and then he fakes his death, and then he just gets killed again, and they
Yeah,
take
he's
his
the
gun
guy
out.
that comes back in that fight scene, right? The John Wick fight scene.
The what?
There's a fight scene where she's like going ham. It's a stunt woman
Oh
with her
yeah,
face
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
Right.
That's the guy who comes back, right? Missing a leg. Wasn't it
Yes.
him?
And
Okay.
then he acts dead, but he's instead of closing his eyes, he goes full ballsy, eyes open, dead guy.
Yeah, but that scene too, like he scanned him. He didn't seem to have heat because he
She
was.
gave him the flowers.
Oh, okay, that's right.
She shoved the flowers in his mouth, which is that's like the tricky thing in this
That's
movie.
another thing where you think they have the mud happening when she falls in the quicksand,
Yes.
and then the next scene she washes it away, and you're like, "Don't do that." But then they're cool now. They're not gonna do it anymore.
That's the directors once again saying,
Yeah.
"No, we're doing it our way." I liked it though.
That was fine.
It's obviously it's a real thing. Maybe it's a real thing with the Comanches, like the medicine people or
Yeah,
whatever.
that makes sense.
I'm sure it doesn't cool your body temperature like that, but it was something that they could, write it into the story that makes it more believable to the time and the flowers that grew in the region or whatever. But overall, the only Predator movies that I like and consider are Part One, Part Two. The Adrian Brody is that
That's
Predators,
three. Yeah, that was three.
and now
And
this
then
one.
AVP was the only
I
one
don't.
between
Those
them.
don't count.
But
Those
yeah,
don't count.
that's their own thing.
They're not even canon. They're their own thing, so it doesn't matter. Isn't
You
that
gotta
like?
watch the
Isn't
Predator,
that
man, for
Anderson
fun.
movies? Didn't he make
Yeah.
them?
Which one?
The AVP movies weren't they Paul Thomas Anderson
He did
movies?
the first one.
Or just the first? And he produced the second one, probably. I'm sure.
Maybe produced it, but he didn't direct the second one. No, no. The second one was like super low
That's
budget.
that's their own thing, and then they actually they're the ones who really tried to add the whole. Well, obviously it's Alien and Predators together, but they're the ones who like actually brought back the guy who played Bishop and shit
Yes, in
in
the
those
first one.
movies, and like they try to tie it all together. It's like yes,
And,
doesn't
and
work.
and then to dork out, actually the first one, the Paul Thomas Anderson, is called Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
The second was called Aliens versus Predator for
Oh,
some
okay.
reason. Yeah.
They did a little
They
wordplay there.
figured out, okay, well, Aliens sounds better.
Yeah, no. But the my rankings for me would be still Part One is still the OG, and that's to
Yes.
me it's the perfect action movie.
Part one's
Perfect,
great.
complete, and it's a masterpiece. That's just like something that was done in a time period where nobody had really done that before, and it was just a piece of the time. Though the machismo, the actors that were available in their prime still, that these action
Yeah.
stars don't exist anymore. That's like a thing of the
Actors, and then people were not even really actors, like fucking Jesse Ventura,
yes, but it
like
works. There's a
that.
bunch of
Yeah.
meatheads, and the
It starts
chemistry.
like one of those Rambo movies, but then it turns into an alien movie.
Yes, but it's just like the ensemble cast, the chemistry. It's stuff of legends. Like it's a beautiful movie. Like it's perfect. I never would fuck with that movie.
And it's like
That's number one.
real. It's all real in the jungle, sweaty.
Yeah. Part two, I'm still gonna give it to part two.
Part two is fun.
Just because I used to that movie, the Jamaican guys used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. I don't know why.
Yeah, the whole scene with the guys having sex with the woman and they come in and kill them.
Yeah, and I got the bloody bodies hanging afterwards from the
Yeah.
scene.
Predator 2, all the Predator scenes are really good.
They're really good.
That's what's good. And then all the
Predator
stuff,
2,
all the cop scenes are very like 90s Lethal Weapon-ish looking.
exactly. It's also a super time stamp product of its time. It's
Yes.
like Danny Glover's hot shit from Lethal Weapon. So Danny Glover's gonna be the
Bill
guy.
Paxton.
It's got to be in the big city. It's got Bill Paxton. It's gonna have cocaine, drug lords, and it's batshit crazy. Part two is like whatever part one was. Let's go fucking nuts with it in part two.
It
And
kind
just
of felt like they were trying to do like a RoboCop thing where it's like a fucked up society over the top with
and
the
of course,
captain and then the guy who was a real talk show host, the Morton Downey Jr. guy character,
yeah. And then of
hard
course,
copy.
sprinkle in coked out Gary Busey.
Yes.
Good to go. That's a coke
You've heard that the original script, supposedly his character was going to be Schwarzenegger. Like he was going to be the head. Obviously they changed it, but Schwarzenegger was going to be the guy that's tracking the Predator and meets up with Danny Glover's character.
Imagine.
And he said no, and he did Terminator 2 instead. Go figure.
Interesting. That's crazy.
And I heard too that believe it or not, Patrick Swayze was gonna do Predator 2. He had to back out because he got his back hurt in Roadhouse.
Oh, because he was gonna be the Predator.
No, he was gonna be, I think, the cop.
Okay.
And he got hurt. He got hurt on Roadhouse fighting that guy in the river. They really went at it. He got really hurt, and he passed on Predator and another movie because he wanted to do something less physical, and that's why he did Ghost, because he just had to stand around.
Well, it worked out for him.
Oh, Tango and Cash. He was attached to Tango and Cash. He said no to Tango and Cash. He said no to
all those movies ended up working out for everybody. Because I can't envision any of those movies with these other guys instead. It's like amazing.
Yeah, it's always like that. But yeah, Schwarzenegger was supposed to play his character. Obviously, he probably would have been in it more. He wouldn't have been the bad guy.
I'm glad he didn't because
No,
it kills the mythos of Arnold in part one. You know, it's like Arnold is everybody revels in Predator, like the gifs,
What happened to
the
Dutch?
memes, you son of a bitch. Like the whole movie is like a meme. The
Yeah.
whole movie's a man meme. It's hilarious. It's like it's awesome. So Predator, Predator Two, then I'll put Prey, and then I'll put the Robert Rodriguez produced Predators.
Oh, okay.
Those that's my order.
Yeah, like everyone said, oh, it's the best one since Predator. Predator number one is number one, but number two just has like praise
It's
to
also
new.
it's also part two still has the nostalgia attached to it,
Yeah.
and you can't when you grow up on it, it's kind of hard to surpass it. So
Yeah, I remember seeing the theater, and then it has that whole scene where the guy gets coked up. Scorpio is ready. And all those like guys are in every movie as a Colombian drug dealers are
oh
in the
yeah, bro. Every
scene.
cartel guy is so stereotyped in those movies.
All those people are in it. I think that Scorpio guy, he's one of the team in Vampires. He's a
Ah,
Native American in that
it's like
scene.
the Last Action Hero. It's like every bad guy from the
Yeah,
'90s is in that
they
shit.
put everyone in it. Yeah, that's great. Oh, you finally saw the whole thing recently?
What, the Last Action Hero?
Yeah, we talked about it a long time ago. I remember you said you didn't like it when you saw it, but you've seen it
Oh,
recently.
I honestly, I still don't care for it.
But you saw it recently.
I no, I saw it probably like 4 years ago. Honestly,
Okay, that's kind of
I've seen
recent.
it a million times though.
Yeah.
I saw it in theaters with my parents. I got the big gulp, and we left like, what the fuck was that?
You know, Shane Black wrote it.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
It's supposed to be him making fun of his Lethal Weapon movies, and you know.
There's things that I do appreciate about it now, but overall, the kid annoys me.
Oh,
He
you
takes
didn't like the
me
kid.
out of the movie, and so does the old man in the theater. They take me out of the movie. It has this weird like they're trying to shove that Goonies vibe in there, and I don't know. I just
But yeah, at the end, the truth is that there's magic somehow by Houdini. They do that little vibe of everything is
right,
magical, but
right.
you know it's all bullshit anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, I know we're like jumping all over the place. So give me your order. All the Predator
I
movies.
would actually I would agree with you. I think part one is number one. I can't say praise better than part two because part two just so much time has passed, and then so much extra shit came from part two with all the different weapons and the net and the spear and the fact you saw the spaceship and the
I
fact that
didn't touch up on that, but I think part two laid out the mythos. First of all
yeah.
the scenes where he's hurt and he's like doing the med kit shit, I eat that shit up. I love watching movies where they show you alien tech at play
Yeah, and
and
part
how
two
it
is when he
works.
like smashes like drywall together and he mixes it
And the
with
blue
some
crystals that melt everything and shit.
yeah,
It's I love that
makes like
crap.
a compound or something.
And that's the first one that showed like the elders in the ship and all that. I'm
That's
like,
true.
oh my
They
god,
show
that's
more than
awesome.
one. Have you seen that famous deleted footage where Danny Glover's dancing with them?
Ah,
Apparently, all the predators in that scene, Danny Glover was cool with I don't know what someone what's the big team the Lakers I think.
from California, yeah.
Yeah, and he got like a bunch of like basketball players to do it,
Okay.
and they're the ones in that scene. And there's a deleted scene when they're filming, and he starts dancing with them. It's out there. It's part of the blooper reel, but it's
Yeah.
in the fog scene with the fog and everything. And he's like, "Who's next?" And I think they planned it. And he just starts dancing with them and spinning them around. They start booty dancing like a Lakers game.
I saw the other scene where he's behind the scenes and they're all just snorting coke.
I'm too old for this shit.
Want some nose candy, boys?
And there's the other one with Mel Gibson in the background just going off, going off in the background.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a little quick segment, which I think it's like a little thing I want to try to do. Is I'm gonna ask you, what do you wish they did, and what do you wish they didn't do in
Okay.
this movie?
In this movie, Prey.
Right, right.
Okay.
So, oh, by the way, before we go there,
Oh, I just
Predator,
have to say it.
Predator 2. Then what did you go with 3?
Predator, Predator 2, and then Prey.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I guess I would agree with you. Definitely
and
the
then,
Predators at the end.
okay. So I
So
didn't even see it, so I didn't even include it.
you're asking me flat out what they would do or not, or it's like
Okay, in Prey, what do you
okay.
wish they?
Okay. The first
What do
one
you
comes
wish? What do
they
you wish
did.
they didn't do, and what do you wish they did do?
When I watched the movie, I thought the weakest part was actually the end with her and the Predator.
Okay,
I think that could have been better.
I
I
agree.
think they could have done more like part one where she's setting stuff up and
You went down rather easy.
yes, I'm saying it felt like really quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole like
Yeah.
helmet thing. I was like, wow,
And
I can see
I
that.
don't know. I don't know if it was a reach or anything. And that's the only part of the movie where everything was confusing. There's a part where his arm got cut off, and I wasn't sure his arm got cut off because he's looking at it, and I was like, "Did his arm just get cut off?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then of course they set up the thing with the ricocheting of the thing earlier. So okay, I'm okay with that. But I felt like the very ending was it was too quick. It was too dark. It felt like they didn't have enough money to do that scene. In the original Predator was more epic with everything, the trees and
It
all the
was
crap. Yeah,
it had a better payoff.
yeah. And then you knew what he set up all these things. Even at the end when you think he fails and he remembers, oh, the tree thing. You're like, that's right, the tree thing, which is the first thing they show him do.
Okay,
That was the weakest part, I think.
okay.
Um, I know, like from a if you watch Prey for the first time, it's cool, but like her bringing and throwing in the head, I feel like people would it just seems like that would be more of a legend if you have the fucking head already there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
that's
agree.
nitpicking, I know they're starting over. I'm thinking of it like, okay, they have the head, and then that head's gonna be somewhere and they're gonna keep it. It's still gonna it's even if it rots, it's still gonna be an alien bone. And
Right.
would have probably known by now or something. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
only
another
like
thing
the
that
only
throws
thing
me
that
off.
really that
There's now an
bothered me.
alien skull that exists within that world. So there should be knowledge of otherworldly visitors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then also like the thing with all the Predator movies, I don't Alien V AVP 2, the Predator has this liquid that melts stuff. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And his job is like the wolf character from Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
where he cleans up when a predator fucks up, he erases the
Yeah,
history.
he cleans the trophies. He
Yeah.
cleans up all the trophies and shit.
You could say, okay, part one, there was blood on the leaves, but that's gonna degrade. It's like blood, but a bone is gonna last forever.
Yeah.
And those Indians are gonna have them on their faces somewhere. Maybe that's part of what they want set up for the next one. They show up, they see the head, and they get mad. And again, maybe that's like the opening of the next movie in their brain, you know. And it's like, okay, we're not gonna take the head, we're gonna take the gun for some reason because he gave it to
Okay.
you.
I'm gonna
So
tell you. I'm gonna tell you what I wish they didn't do, which is kind of a cop out because both of my answers are a wish they did. All right, so
okay.
I thought they dropped the ball with the whole pistol. I thought the
Okay.
pistol could have been a really awesome aha moment if they would have had a third tier badass character that wasn't Native American that helped them out and all this shit. And at one point in the middle of a battle, he pulls it out and uses it to save her ass or something. Then he gets taken out and it falls on the floor and it becomes more iconic. And oh shit, isn't that the gun?
Yeah.
Right?
No, no, no. Yeah, you're right. And you know what? It would be cool if she gives it to the predator. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
What
he
is
kills the predator, and then he looks at her, and she just gives it to him, and he's like,
well,
you know,
this is what I was going with.
even that would be like something.
What I wish they did. I hate the way they did this sort of explanatory thing in the credit cookie post scene, which is mainly cave drawings.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I didn't catch it until I heard about it. I went back and I put
No,
it,
me too.
and I
They
was like,
talked about Red Letter Media said something, and I went back
that's
and I
the
saw it.
cheapest way to show me that they actually came back.
Yeah, it doesn't count. It's not in
And
the
it doesn't
movie.
really show what they did. Maybe it was probably budgetary. I'm pretty sure it was budgetary issues. But I wish they would have had a scene in which they would have gone back to the tribe to pay their respects to her, right?
Yeah, and she gives the gun to
Take
it.
take his skull back. That way it cleans away any issues of why there's body parts remaining. Do they and then
He
um
gives her the gun in return.
no, she gives them the gun because
Yeah.
they have to
Okay.
have it in their possession. That's the only way it makes sense of why in part two they have it. Why do they have it? She has it. Get
Yeah, I
me?
know.
it should be gifted to her. They should give something to her, and she should give it to him. They respect the tribe. They come here to show their respects. Take the body back from their boy, which isn't that what they normally do? Like in part two, they come back to get the remains of the defeated predator for
Yeah,
their.
yeah. Well, I think they were there. They just appeared and they picked him up. I think he
She
was
should
supposed to
give
be
him a
like
gun,
a
and they should give
young
her
predator.
something else. But it fixes things. It makes sense now. They have that pistol going forward, in which why they give it back to Danny Glover in the future. They it feels like they had a great idea and there's some things that they didn't think through, and somebody in the boardroom was like, want to be clever, let's get that pistol and write it into this, since we're the ones back in the day now. But it's like it was
Yeah,
almost
and
like,
then someone at the
oh, it's
end
going to
said,
be a Frenchman now. It's like
yeah,
ah.
and then someone's kid said, hey, but he had it at the end, so why would? Oh shit, we got to add that thing at the end.
But even that thing at the end doesn't really explain anything. It just shows that three chips came back.
And part of what you said, her throwing the head too, is part of like I don't remember in the Robert Rodriguez one exactly what happened. I think they're just stuck at the end and they're like, oh shit, it happens again. But like no one's ever like really he's always kills himself, right? Like he's never like
Yeah, yeah. Well, the
so
first two he did.
so I missed the fact of him doing the thing. They did do the thing with he leaves the bomb with them, but it was not as effective, I think. I missed
Technically,
that kind of
it's not as high tech a predator, so probably he didn't have a nuclear bomb gauntlet yet. You know what I mean?
no, yeah, I guess so.
Like smaller
Well, it
version
could
of.
have been like a bunch of arrows just went.
It'd be funny if it was just smoke bombs and he just ran away.
It's just
Nobody saw him.
fireworks, and all the Indians, all the Native Americans, are like, ooh.
Just running in the bushes. Okay, so overall, we both pretty much agree on pretty much everything. We both thought it was awesome. We both ranked it third best in the series from what we consider the series. We kind of agree on the lead. It is a bit of the Mary Sue issue, but it was okay. It wasn't that bad. I didn't mind her. I thought her brother was the main badass.
Yeah, he was good.
Um, there was a lot of like similarities with a lot of other movies, like we said. Like I like there's like cues that I liked, like that reminded me of 13th Warrior and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. So anything else you want to add?
Let me think.
In card, buddy.
Oh yeah, I did like the way they did the credit, the opening credit. Do you remember?
Oh, with the old school logo on the
Yes, they
clouds.
pan up,
That
and
was
then it's
great.
like with the year in the bottom.
Yeah, I was
That
actually
was
giggling like
cool.
an idiot by myself watching it. I was like, "Oh my god, that was awesome!
I
That
didn't
was
expect that. That was like okay, all right, that was cool.
that set the tone. That made me go. I think we're in good hands. This is gonna be actually a good Predator movie." So
Yeah, I really like the way that the shield thing looked. They have a lot of scenes with him in camouflage.
mm-hmm.
It starts like it has like a slow burn, but so does the first movie where they're like figuring it out and everything. I think it's good. I think it's a good introduction Predator movie to someone who's not into the old ones, because all the other Predator movies when they start, it's always like ching ching boom,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
all this crazy stuff. But this
Well,
one kind of like sets up the mystery of it.
they took the cue from part one, where it's like you first have to give a shit about the group of people.
Yeah,
That's funny because the one with Adrian Brody, they try to do that, and I honestly really didn't give that much of a fuck about anybody in that movie.
because they're all like bad dudes, kind of.
They had that stupid, annoying guy I hated from that 70s show.
Oh yeah, yeah, the original Venom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
god, what was that? That was like a thing for a while. They were shoving that guy down like
he was
action
making
movies.
movies. I think it was after the show ended, and him and
Topher
Ashton
Grace,
Kutcher were
right?
making movies and
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, yeah, he was definitely not good in it, but it had a good cast. Machete. It has the guy who's gonna play Blade now, Marshall Ali.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even remember that.
He's
That's
like the African lord. I like the idea of like an African
mm,
lord,
no life's going on
samurai,
in the
a
world. Yeah.
yakuza, all those things in there. It felt very Robert Rodriguez. It felt like a From Dusk Till Dawn idea,
Yeah. And they were the
but
ones who introduced the predator dogs, right?
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
cool. That was cool.
But
Yep.
that's the one I think I've seen the least, maybe. Well, I remember the least is Predators. I did catch the beginning. It starts cool, just them falling. The music is exactly the same from part one. I remember that. That
Yeah.
da-na-na.
Oh, that's another thing. They did not do that. This one, there's a point where there's a sort of subtle hint in the cue to the original theme, but they really don't go into it. They did their own
No.
score. Do you think they should have? Not the same, but at least the
Yeah. I mean, that would have helped. That would have helped, but I didn't even expect them to do that, honestly. And another thing I like too is this one seemed like, especially the fur trader scene, it seemed like there was long shots of the predator doing things and killing people in one shot, which
yeah.
they kind of don't do. And the other ones always quick cuts. The older ones, especially because they're all special effects. There was a couple shots where he like throws like a bear trap at a guy, then he
Yeah.
throws some weird sword, and the guy's like far away. It kind of felt like one of those World War II Christopher Nolan
Hand
scenes.
shots.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Glorious Bastards.
Yeah.
Eating with the
Yeah.
girls running away.
And in the part where the guy he has him up to the tree and he used the shield to decapitate him.
That was awesome.
Oh, and
That
then they
was
had
a great scene.
yes, and they had humor. The part where he used the shield and all the guys don't know what to do and they're like reloading the muskets.
Yes.
Like that's fucked up. Like you know what I mean? Like that's great. And like go to what you said. Like if it is a gimmick, if it is like Sharknado and they do another one, like just visually, what would we like it to stand? Like in the pirate times,
No.
or like ancient Greece, or like what's a good time period for
Feudal
the Predators to
Japan,
show
bro.
up? Yeah. I'm
Feudal
just
Japan. Just straight samurais on
everyone says
horses.
that. Yeah, that makes sense. You can have the ching ching. You can have some great samurai. Yes, that would be good.
You've been playing this game. What's the name of the game you've been playing?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of
Ghost.
Tsushima. You imagine something like that?
Yeah.
Oh
Game's
my
great.
god!
But
Fuck it,
like, I would love to see him in the
go
Western
all
era
out, sir.
too.
Go
Western.
all out and make it black and white. Get real artsy with it.
I would say Western, but they did Cowboys versus Aliens, and it didn't work well.
No. Hey, bro, Kurosawa, black and white Predator, feudal Japan movie. Just see if it sticks, bro. See what happens. You heard it here first, bro. If you guys do it, you took it from me. What do you think, David?
Yeah, that would be good.
Let's get that script going.
That would be good. Like yeah, that would be good. What other era would be good though? Besides, of course,
we'll get like Watanabe and all these guys in there again, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah, do you understand? Ken Watanabe. Tom Cruise comes back as the last samurai.
No, we can't afford Tom Cruise, bro. We can't afford Tom Cruise. It'll become a whole ploy of having Tom Cruise jump from like one hut to another and another and another, and that's where the whole budget will go. And I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah, but then it's gonna become like Assassin's Creed, where it's like, okay, what era you want it to be in?
That's why I'm like, you can't do that gimmick more than maybe twice.
Oh, how about it during a war, do a war movie, World War One, World War Two?
Oh God.
Like the Predator just showing up like with the tank. That's all like porn, but
You know how that would work?
Revolutionary War, that would be cool.
No. The whole like time period thing. The only way I could see that working, but it would be so expensive, is if it would be a show. Every couple episodes, either they're time traveling or whatever.
No, yeah, like they come every 100 years or something.
Yeah.
So
maybe
it's like
maybe we do like a we're gonna do it, but like like a story where it's intertwined in between different time periods, whether it's ancestors of the Comanche tribe through different times or something like that, and we just every couple episodes, boom, it's a different character related to the last character in a different time period and stuff like that. But that would be expensive.
hell yeah, it'd be like the intro to the 80, the amazing stories where the Indians are talking in the fireplace, and it's like different predator things.
That would be like some Game of Thrones shit. I mean, every episode doesn't have to be an epic battle, but just the set pieces, the wardrobe, everything is different. You can't reuse anything except for the predators, maybe, because everything is different. You have to change the whole thing, the whole backdrop. Fuck it, go all the way, go into the 1950s, like Back to the Future style, like rocket shit, and the fucking predators.
You imagine the predator showing up during a prom night, during the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, just slicing up teenagers. That would be like a Jason movie. You know, it'd be funny. the predator just shows up like super back in the past, and he's just bored. He shows up in like the Ice Age, and it's just him sitting like in Antarctica, trying to make a fire. Like,
I'm
fuck
way
this
too
shit.
old for this shit.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Actually, that would be some shit. You imagine a mini series, not even like a whole episode. You can make it like a 6 episode, 5 episode mini series, high budget, of like a Predator timeline jumping fucking story. That would be crazy. And then in there, you want to get nuts. You have one story that just straight up has Arnold in it,
Yeah,
old Arnold, because it's in now and it
yeah.
makes sense. You don't have to shoehorn CGI like young Arnold. No, no,
No, no, no,
old
no, yeah.
Arnold. Like he literally just finished banging his nanny.
You do it like Bubba Hotep. He's in some nursing home. I fought an alien once, and the predator shows up. He's like, "I told
Sure you
you."
did, buddy. Sure you did. Take your pill. Well, anyways, we'll start wrapping this up now. Any more words?
No, no, can't think of anything at the moment.
Okay. Well, I think that'll be it for this episode. We definitely will have some episodes coming up for the YouTube channel. Those of us who don't know, it's we're the Creatures of the Night on YouTube, and I have a bunch of episodes that I'm editing now where we actually went in Vegas to the Zach Baggins Haunted Museum.
Yeah, I saw the post.
Oh my god, bro! I was in there for almost 2.5 hours. They had, it's nuts in there, dude. They have uh serial killers like ashes and bones in there and shit. They have John Wayne Gacy's stuff in there. They have
Nice.
Manson's bones and ashes are in there. Like it was crazy. They have this thing called the Devil's Chair. You could look it up. I did not want to be in that room longer than I had to be. It was nuts, and it was like never ending. Every room was a different thing, and then a different thing, and I
I
was
might
like,
have seen this on. Other people have gone on YouTube and videotaped it. The
oh
place.
yeah.
The,
I mean, Zach Baggins is the guy that has Ghost Hunters.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
He opened a museum with all the most haunted shit that in his adventures. He's bought them all. He's like loaded now.
Yeah, I bet.
It's cool because beside the mansion, he has the Ghost Hunters headquarters. It's a whole black building, and it has the vans parked in front and shit. But the museum, dude, you have to sign. I had to sign like a 15-page waiver to get in there because they're like, we're not responsible if anything follows you out of here. We're not responsible for possessions. We're not responsible. And there's footage of things happening for real in there. They have a doll. It's
the Robert doll. The Robert doll.
no. This one's called I think it's like Betty or something. I gotta look. I forgot. I have notes on it. If you stare at her in the eyes, you automatically will supposedly get nosebleeds and shit, and you have to say goodbye to her, or she will do something to you. You know, so
That was like the Robert doll. You heard the Key West guy, the Key West doll. Yeah.
yeah. I know who the Robert. He looks like a little sailor doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one looks creepy as shit.
You say goodbye.
Oh hell yeah, I said goodbye. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But we have an episode coming on that. We also visited Nightmare Toys, which is this great horror collectibles place where they have horror people come all the time and sign autographs and stuff. I have an episode dropping on that on the YouTube channel. We got a bunch of other stuff, man. I'm also going to might be going back to Salem in Boston for Halloween. I don't know. We got a bunch of stuff coming, so you can follow us on the Creatures of the Night on Instagram, the Creatures of the Night on Twitter, YouTube, and now will be the Creatures of the Night podcast. And that will soon be on everything from iTunes to Spotify, etc., etc. So, till next time, David.
Till next time, Narciso.
Remember, guys, remember to creep it real, baby. Good night.